that, is this a split call?
Speaking.
Is this a split call?
Oh.
No, Adrian Ruffy.
Thank you.
Tēnā koe.
Tēnā koe te māngai o te whare o te rā. E tika ane ki a tuku mihi atu ki ngā pautiaki o Papawai me Kaikokirikiri. O te noa ki a tātou katoa o te whare nei. Sir, at the first reading of this bill, I spoke about a number of things, including wanting to hear submitters on this bill. I didn't sit on the Māori Affairs Select Committee for this bill, sir, but I commend the Māori Affairs Select Committee for the work that they did do on this bill. There were only 2 submissions, so I've read those submissions, sir, and from my part of the world, when you only get 2 kai kōrero on an issue, it means everything must be ka pai. Because if it wasn't, we'd get a lot more submissions on this bill. So I just want to acknowledge the Māori Affairs Select Committee, because obviously from those, although there are only 2 submissions and the advice from the officials, no doubt, I think they've come up with a very good position on the definition of tangata whenua or wairarapa. And I think that is a very good way of expressing who this bill is in benefit of, but also the very inclusive nature of this part of the bill, so I acknowledge that. My reading, sir, of the 1943 Act and the language it uses makes it very prescriptive, and it's very paternalistic as well in the way that it's written. So it's well overdue for a review, and I also acknowledge the member for Wairarapa, Alistair Scott, for the work that he has done on bringing this bill to the House. I always believe that in reviewing legislation like this, it should empower the whānau, it should empower the people that it benefits. And quite clearly the new governance arrangements, the new terms within this bill does exactly that. And so it's very easy for me to stand in support of this bill. Like a number of others, I thought I would add some whakapapa kōrero of my own to this debate. My grandmother, just about enough time. My grandmother is from Kahungunu, and very proud about that part of my whakapapa as well, my dad's mum. It was very interesting listening to the contribution, particularly of my colleague Calvin Davis. He doesn't know this, but I have Ropiha whakapapa as well. So Mr. Speaker, I was really interested in the way that the Māori Affairs Select Committee dealt with the inconsistency with the New Zealand Bill of Rights Act 1990. It was obviously within the drafting of the legislation an unintended fact that was placed in this bill, and consequently the Māori Affairs Select Committee coming to an agreement on how to address the concerns of the Attorney General. It's always important in these pieces of legislation that it's fair, that it does not contravene this very important act, the Bill of Rights Act, and that in this instance, the Māori Affairs Select Committee has done a very good job in addressing that. So I don't have any more to contribute except I commend this bill to the House. Thank you.